and I know your argument, and I'll listen more.
Okay.
We're not finished with your testimony. I'll listen more. I know what you're alleging.
Well, but Your Honor, one thing I've never put on the record is what I believe are the three motives. Okay, and I will identify one of them as it relates to this. Okay, I filed a complaint.
I would note you're arguing procedurally because you're a witness now and you're making legal argument, which really should come at the end unless it relates only to procedure. You're now getting into substantive arguments, which you are welcome to do at the end.
Okay, thank you. And then let me just check my notes from last week to make sure I covered all those points. And I will scratch those points because I was suggesting a way to efficiently move through, but you directed a different way.
I'm not sure what that means.
Well, I had asked that you allow me to suggest an order of how to present going through the complaints. And on the record, you told me, no, you were going to direct that, and I acquiesced, and I took the stand.
No, I think I said I'm going to run the proceeding, but we started with the judges. You were, I think, fine with that, and then we've been working our way to each person, and some of your evidence and arguments overlap between different people, and I totally understand that. I've read this thoroughly, and I listened carefully, and I'm ready to listen more.
And I'm ready to move on in a moment. There's a couple quick points that I need to make. Okay, so third-party complaints. It's been brought to my attention that witnesses that I intended to call were very concerned about this court's comments that they were not allowed to be heard. So as a result...
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said it's a probable cause hearing. I will make up my mind as to whether there should be further testimony. This is not a criminal trial. It's a probable cause hearing. I am trying to keep it within parameters of a probable cause hearing. So I don't know who was concerned about what, but I note that the people you subpoenaed were here that morning. I said to them, if the testimony is permitted, we're obviously not going to get to you today. So you can leave if you wish. That's what I said to them.
Okay, and Your Honor, just so you know that it's not only my understanding, but I will tell you that I have 4 signed complaints that were submitted in Newton, New Jersey yesterday by third parties that were concerned that you were not going to allow them to testify, and they said they're going to become complainants themselves because they witnessed it. They filed separate complaints in Newton, New Jersey, and I have courtesy copies because they provided them to me. So I will provide to you and I'm going to put on the record who they are from. Greg Roberts, founder and president of the Family Civil Liberties Union, against Judge Ctritchley for public corruption of resources. Okay?
It's the first time, respectfully, sir, it's the first time I've heard Mr. Roberts' name that I can recall. Okay? You said people that I didn't allow to testify. I don't recall hearing his name before.
Your Honor, he has come to court at his own volition.
But I don't know who he is if he's sitting in the audience. I'm just telling you that's the first time I've heard his name that I can remember.
Okay. Mr. Zia Sheikh, although he's a member, I think he indicates at some point he's a member of the FCLU, he's a private citizen, and he attended and witnessed Judge Ctritchley commit a criminal act. And then 2 of them you will recognize, I'm certain, because you named them and you're aware of them. As one is from my father, and Mr. Patrick Ippolito, and one is from my mother. I would point out that the items that are identified by my parents are only select with respect to the complaints that they filed, not with respect to the evidence that they have and witnessed on my complaints. So I would respectfully...
Let me ask you this, sir. Why, respectfully to anybody who signed a complaint, why are they signed last night when all of the rest of your documentation was filed many weeks ago, or most of it was filed many weeks ago, and I set aside this time for the hearing?
They were not signed last night, and I can have copies. They were signed at various dates from the last hearing. So it's my understanding...
Well, that's last week, though.
It's my understanding that Your Honor, they took time to carefully prepare, provide their evidence, including photographs from Mr. Roberts, who actually, by the way, had a camera person at his direction and filed the form with Judge Ctritchley. They're all legally obtained, okay? They all took time to carefully put together their complaints, and they signed them at various dates. Then they were submitted in Newton. So look, it's another, my parents are 82 years old and they're ill. They both have medical issues. They can't just get in a car and drive, on the 7th to Newton. So, you know what, you can ask them, but guess what, Your Honor? I actually don't have to be. All I would say is that from a judicial efficiency, that should be merged in here. I'm submitting this as a courtesy copy. They should be marked as exhibits.
Sir, I don't believe they should be submitted to me because, number one, I don't even know if they relate to this case or this general global case. But secondly, I have no jurisdiction in those matters until there's a change of venue from the assignment judge in Morris County. Everything else the venue has been changed. It's been sent out of county because obviously, given your complaints, they can't be heard in Morris County by a Morris County judge, obviously. So they're sent out to ensure that you feel that you're going to get a fair hearing. But those have not been sent out. I had no knowledge of them. I don't even know if Judge Minkowitz, the assignment judge in Morris, who would sign the change of venue order, if appropriate, knows about them.
Okay, well, then as a matter of evidence, these actually, and you can tell me whether I'm right or wrong, they serve as affidavits because they're assigned by people. This is a probable cause hearing, and I believe that the rules of evidence
They are not before me, sir. They are not before me.
Well, two of them could be right here. They could swear right now that
They
they
are
signed
not
them.
before me, sir. They are Newton Municipal Court complaints. They are not before me absent a change of venue order.
And irrespective of the fact
And you
that they
did not
witnessed the same crime as
And you
me,
did not notify me that you had filed them.
I didn't file them.
And
Wait
you
a
didn't
second,
know
let me-
you didn't know your parents had filed them.
Let me correct that, okay? I brought my parents to the courthouse on their behalf, so I don't want to, thank you, I don't want to
Your
be
parents are
misunderstood.
most welcome to be here, just like
They're here.
anybody else, just like anybody else.
And you're
It's
gonna
a
allow them to
public courtroom. Sir, I don't have it. I would like to finish your testimony and then see where we are.
And you're gonna allow them to testify?
I am not committing, and I'm not gonna go one-on-one with you.
Okay, so you're not taking their evidence on the record, just.
Because
You're taking-
because they're Newton Municipal Court complaints.
And the entire controversy doctrine doesn't apply to this court?
Absent a change of venue, it is premature.
Okay, thank you. Now, I asked Your Honor to enforce Rule 3:2-1B of the Rules of Criminal Practice because, as I read it, it says that, well, I'll paraphrase to move things along quick. The court has 48 hours to take my complaints and deliver them to the prosecutor. And I asked this court to confirm that the rule was complied with, and I received no response.
You have filed under a different rule. When a person who is not a police officer seeks to file a complaint against someone, there are different procedures. And let me indicate this hypothetically, sir, and not applying to you, because